For this episode of New Jersey Living, we are once again in Hudson County. This time we are filming from West New York. So, reference for sure my episodes on Weehawken, episode on North Bergen, and maybe you want to check a little bit of Union City, but definitely North Bergen and Weehawken have similar dynamics to what we're going to see today in West New York. We're going to see a blend of multifamily, and then we're going to go down to the waterfront and see some condos. So if you're fresh off of my Weehawken or North Bergen episodes, you're going to get a similar feel. So with that, something to be said is to consider, if you are a buyer specifically, what are your goals, motivations, intentions for a purchase? Are you looking for aesthetics of waterfront, the amenities of those type of condos, or as a buyer, are you considering maybe I do multifamily because that can be a long-term investment? So we're going to dive into that a little bit as we look at some 2 and 3 family homes here in West New York. Price points, we're going to dive into that specifically as to specifically affordability. Many people who may well be in the market for a $400,000 or $500,000 condo can in fact be in the market for $800,000, even $900,000 2 or 3 family home, and maybe not even realize it. So we're gonna kind of dive into that a little bit as well. So right off hand, I want to welcome everyone back, all the Jersey hunters who've been watching. Those who are new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to click like, click subscribe, and notification bell. We have tons of more content coming your way. A lot of features in neighborhoods. So we're going to get into a little bit of West New York today. Welcome. Let's get the ride started now. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Prestige Properties. My job is to bring content like this to viewers like you. Those who are looking for a rental property, purchase property, maybe even need to sell your property. These videos are made to give you important insights on the various neighborhoods and locations throughout New Jersey, primarily the suburbs to New York City. So, with that being said, be sure to look up my contact information that's right here in the description. I receive routinely from folks like you the emails, text messages, phone calls, and even Calendly linked schedules to have a quick 15-minute phone call. So all of my information is here. Feel free to reach out, and I'll be more than happy to assist you in your process or just provide general feedback. So we are here in front of 412 59th Street. You can see there's some work going on. Contractors, I can see that they're working specifically here on the sidewalk in front of 412. So there could have been some type of utility work. Sometimes water lines are upgraded, sometimes sewer lines, and that requires sidewalks to be busted up some in front of a property, or they could have just decided we want a new sidewalk in front. This property, as all the properties that I feature in New Jersey Living, have sold within the last 30 days. So 412, 2-family property. There's 7-bedroom, well, listing is 6-bedroom, 4 full bath. In the description, they listed a 7th bedroom. That could be because the basement is fully finished and there is an attic on the 3rd level. So bottom line is 2 units here, both of them rented out together combined for a rent roll that was approximately $4,600 a month. So that gets into affordability for those who may be deciding, if I'm first time in the market buying and I qualify for a $450,000 condo, it'd be nice to have a multifamily to offset the mortgage payment and maybe even have myself an investment property down the road. But I just don't have the ability to buy something at 600, 700, 800,000. And I would say that requires a conversation with both your lender and with your realtor. If you're at 450,000 for a condo, no doubt it is an option. It may be an option for you to reach your price point up into 650, 750 and purchase a multifamily, because the lender will account for the rental income that will offset the the mortgage payment. So then the question more becomes down payment. Like if you're a 20% down payment on a condo, then hands down, you can absolutely get a multifamily and just do 10% down rather than the 20, because obviously it's going to be a bigger down payment. All right. But these are some things to think through if your goals are, all right, long term, I really want to have a property that I'm going to hold that's going to be a 2 or 3 family, and then move on from that to purchase another property. Or if your priority is, I really just want the amenities, the luxury, the convenience of being right there on the waterfront, which is your prerogative. Everybody has different needs and different priorities when it comes to purchasing property. That's something to consider as well. So let's hop into the details about 41259. So 41259, which is directly behind me where the guys are working directly in front of it. List price was $629, sold at $630. Taxes are slightly above $9,000, basically $9,300. It's on the market for just over 4 months, 120 plus days roughly. All right, so it took some time. Reason being, both units were maintained fine. However, they weren't upgraded. You're not going to find a newly renovated or updated bathroom and kitchen and what have you, but we are in an area that is a solid rental location. Bergen Line Ave is just down the block. If you've seen my North Bergen episode, you know that Bergen Line Ave that cuts north-south through the northern section of Hudson County is full of retail, restaurants, businesses. Most are Latino, but these are areas that you're going to always have solid rent roll. All right. So this is a situation where it lasted for 4 months. It could have been an investor, could have been someone who says, I'm going to live in one, I'm going to rent out the other, and I'm going to go ahead and do the renovations now to enhance my value. So going back again to that discussion of if I'm around 400-ish in terms of my budget, you know, and that's when you're thinking of single family or condo. Should I start thinking about a multifamily? And I say absolutely, absolutely without question. So this gives an example of a 2-family. We're going to see a couple of 3s also before we get to the waterfront scene. I know I normally start with some kind of scenic area, but I wanted to jump right into the topic of investment right away for this West New York episode, because North Bergen, we kind of started with the nice scenic park area. So we're going to see some nice scenery as well. Just stick around towards the end of the episode. So we're going to take a look in addition to this property right here. Total of 6 others, but it's going to be relatively quick. It's not going to be a long spread out viewing. We're going to see 2, 3 families, and then we're going to hop down to the waterfront. All 3 condos are in pretty much the exact same location. So hope you appreciate some of the footage you're going to see, and I'll see you at the next location. At our second stop, we're on now 62nd Street. 62nd Street has a property directly behind me. 118 62nd was listed at $595, sold at $600, on the market 4 days. 2-family, another 2-family property here. Now, the neighborhood dynamics, as I pan around, you're going to notice it's a little different as we get a little closer to Park Ave, which is closer to the east side of West New York towards the Hudson. The neighborhood dynamics get a little bit more residential in feel. So we see a lot of brick front here, a lot of that brownstone look. Properties tend to be a little larger. This one was a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath. And like what we saw on 59th Street, nothing newly renovated or recently upgraded, but again, you're talking about the location, we're talking proximity to bus lines, and we're talking about being in a general strong rental market. So going back into the do I buy single family condo or do I buy multifamily, a couple other dynamics to consider is this. 1, depreciation. All All right, so if you don't know what depreciation is, that's more of a accounting finance term, but depreciation gives tax relief, tax credit, tax benefit to basically investors, landlords, owners of investment property. Okay, so you're depreciating basically the cost of purchasing and maintaining that property. That gives you a tax benefit. Another benefit is that rents generally increase from year to year. It's becoming a more strong rental market right now because interest rates are high, more people are renting, so there's a demand. And the other aspect of appreciation other than rent is the property values. So this property purchased at 600. Next year, the market value is going to continue to tick up. So I would say at the very minimum, we'll be looking at a 5% appreciation. Like COVID has been phenomenal in what it has done to property values from year to year, but that's starting to tail off now. All right, where it pretty much has tailed off now. But you'll have an appreciation of the value of the property, also of your rent, and the prospects of actually pulling money out if you want to take out equity of a investment property to invest in another property, or perhaps purchase a property of your own, which goes back to if your first purchase, if you're that first time buyer and you project on being in that home 5 years for your first purchase, why not a multifamily that can have an offset of the cost of the mortgage with that rent of another unit? You also get depreciation value in terms of the tax benefit, and over time you're going to build up greater equity in that home, equity that you can pull out to use for other purposes. So these are some things that you want to consider, certainly with investment prospects just like this one right here. So this is, again, a 2-family. We're going to walk around the block to 63rd Street. 63rd has a 3-family. We're going to take a look at over there. All right, so I'll see you there. All right, this is our final residential stop of multifamilies before we head down to the waterfront, which I can see. I'll pan around just a little bit, the buildings that you can see at the end of this road, if you can see it. I know video doesn't show it as well, but I am looking directly across the Hudson into Manhattan. All right, so this right here is a 3-family. So I'm gonna pan up just so you get a full profile of the property. So this 63rd Street was listed at $849, sold at $840, 20 days on the market. And this is a 3-family with 8 beds, 4 full baths, and the rent roll here was totaling slightly over $6,600 per month. Now, again, with the new owners, I don't know what their intentions or their plans are for the property. However, if we're going back to that single individual who's that buyer, that first-time buyer that maybe is starting to think about, do I look into multifamily? You have greater reach in terms of qualification when you go from 2 to 3 families. So let's go back to that case where you're qualified for, let's say, 450, and you're thinking, do I do townhouse, do I do condo, want to be in Hudson? That same qualification at 450 will get you very much into this kind of range for a 3-family. All right, so now you're looking at offsetting with 2 units rather than 1. And again, we're talking about after 5 years or 6 years, or maybe it's just 3 years, you stay in the unit, you build up equity, you're paying down the mortgage. That's the thing, the mortgage balance is being paid down while the property value goes up, as well as your rentals go up, right? So these are things to consider in scenarios like this. So here, this particular property, like the others that we've seen, haven't been, not newly upgraded. You know, you don't find those like high-end finishes in a lot of this area in West New York, but the long-term hold potential is tremendous for these kind of properties. So I'm panning around just a little. There are some newer renovations on the block. So there's definitely some opportunity to purchase something newly renovated. Of course, price point is going to reflect in that. But this gives you, again, a little bit of that taste of that 2 and 3 family in West New York. Turn around. You're gonna see some waterfront footage as well when I get down towards the condo area on the waterfront. But there is one block from here that you can go down and have a magnificent view. It's basically a sidewalk that walks right along the Hudson. I don't mean literally like you're right by the water, you're elevated. As we've seen in previous episodes, Hudson County has an elevated portion that's more towards the central part of the county, and then there's a waterfront area that's right at water level, sea level. All right, so we're at that higher end. So the sidewalk walks up and down the skyline of Manhattan, which is a spectacular view for walks, jogs. I brought my family out here just for a little getaway to spend a weekend afternoon. So it's a great, in my estimation, great location. All right, so let's continue to take some walking footage, and we're gonna have our next stop down at the waterfront. See you there. So here is the waterfront scene that I was referring to. Of course, behind me, you can see the Manhattan skyline. Just down here is a basketball court. And you can even see some units, condo townhouse units right there at the lower level. That lower level is what I meant by sea level and how we're kind of elevated up on a cliff. But as I pan both directions, you can get a feel for this walkway that I was referring to, that you have a lot of people who either walk or jog just to take in the sights. And it's a great crisp fall afternoon that's ideal for that today, definitely. All right, so this is just a little first-hand view of what I was referring to in the previous scene. I have a little more walking footage to show, and we're down to the waterfront. I'll see you there. We are at the waterfront. We are basically on the Hudson. You see Manhattan skyline behind me. Pan around a little bit and you get to see the Riverwalk section of condos right here for the waterfront section of West New York. Scene should look a little familiar because Weehawken is directly south of us. The ferry is there. The Imperial condos that we viewed in that episode are also down there as well. So this gives you an idea how much close proximity we are to ferry service. So with that being said, jumping into the big three. I know I didn't mention that yet because I've been talking so much about investment. In terms of big three, West New York. All right, light rail is in proximity, busing is in proximity in terms of commute, that is mass transit, as well as ferries. So check mark for those. No path, but all those other three, check the box. Manhattan is directly across the Hudson. We're right here along the waterfront. Proximity, again, check. Schools do not get a check mark. West New York, unlike West Orange, does not have an A rating for schools at H.com. So that will be the one thing that does kind of balance out the demand. So it's not as high demand as you'll find in Weehawken, and of course, pricing wise, you're not going to find the same pricing as you would in Weehawken because of that, because it does not meet all three of the big three, two of the three. All right, so we are basically all condensed here together are a group of buildings. Not all are the same exact HOA or building development, but they're all in very much close proximity. You're seeing some street footage. You're seeing a pan view. There are retail locations on first floors throughout the entire complex. So dining and nail spa and, a lot of the conveniences that you would expect to see in a location like this where residents are going to look for some conveniences. So let's hop over to the first building for the first condo. First condo behind me, this is 20 Avenue at Port Imperial, and as I mentioned just a minute ago, we are just a probably maybe 10-minute walk to the ferry from where we are right now from what we saw in Weehawken in that episode. And when I'm standing across from Ben & Jerry's, this smell of waffle cone is just invading my nostrils right now. It's incredible. All right, so 20 Port Imperial. This unit was a 1-bedroom unit, 1 bed, 1 bath. 500 was the list price, 500 was the sold price. It shows 0 days on the market. It's the same agent on the listing and the buy side. Most scenarios like this, it was listed for the purposes of just getting the credit on the MLS. So what that means is more likely than not, there was already a buyer interested, lined up, and it was just a formality of putting it on the MLS. 0 days, it's done. So this scenario wasn't a traditional marketing open house and viewings and all of this, but gives you an idea of approximately what the cost would be for a 1-bedroom in the area. So this is stop one. We're gonna hop over. You'll see everything up here if you haven't flashed already, all the square footage and HOA fees and what have you. HOA, like other areas like this, is going to cover some of your utility and at times parking. But again, I'll include that up here as well in terms of what you see flashed up. So let's go over. The other 2 units are at 24 and 26 Avenue at Port Imperial respectively. Let's head over now. We're in front of 24 Avenue at Port Imperial, and this unit is a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath unit that was listed at 800, sold at 800. On the market, not very long. I want to say roughly 20 some days, but it'll flash up here. HOAs $950 a month. That covers heat, covers water, covers gas. Most electric utilities are covered, and it includes parking as well. Just a quick little pan around. There's a playground right here. There is obviously the other unit we're going to take a look at is right across the little driving lane here. And from properties I've shown in here, definitely has kind of that hotel feel almost to it when you're inside and walking through. Units obviously facing the water are going to carry a higher price point. But this is an example of what 3 bedrooms was going to cost you just to be in a building like this right here. So we're going to skip right over here to give the details on the other unit, which is in building 26. Building 26 at Port Imperial. This unit, the number is 105. List price was at $599, sold under list price, I believe, $585. You'll see the correct price posted up. 2-bedroom, 2 bath, slightly over 1,000 square feet, which is a very good price when you're talking cost per square foot. You compare that to Hoboken, and it's night and day different in terms of what you're getting in terms of size. All right, HOA was not listed on this one, but again, it includes the same heat, hot water, parking is included as well. There's concierge door service as here as well. So that's another like added perk, which is why the HOAs are on the higher end. They're closer to 1,000. So I would expect this unit smaller than the other one, but I would say it's safe to assume the HOA would be like 600 plus per month. All right, so this gives you the 2-bedroom variety of having this same kind of general location. I'm gonna pan around behind me. The restaurant here, I believe, that this is PF Chang's. I've been to this one, but I haven't seen this side of it. I've always been on the other side. But this is one of the few standalone restaurants in this area, because a lot of the rest of the retail and restaurants are down on the other stretch where we just came from, where we started, where building 20 was. So this is a wrap up of West New York. I hope you have enjoyed the view here and the tour. Please do click like and subscribe and the notification bell. We have a lot of scenes to still cover right here in this area of New Jersey, covering the suburbs of New York City. There's a lot more ground to cover. So please do leave comments. I'm giving away t-shirts. So if you want a t-shirt, all you have to do is drop me a line. You can even shoot it an email. You don't even have to put it in comment if you want, but free t-shirts. And if you're looking for any type of insights or information, if you own property, you're looking to list, you're looking to, or just get an idea of what your property is worth, always know your value, whether you're listing a year from now, 5-10 years from now, or 20 years from now. Know what your value is right here and now. So I provide that. That's no charge at all. And I, again, value the process that everyone goes through with selling a home, buying a home, or even looking for a rental. So please reach out to get any insights. I'd be glad to offer it. That's no charge at all. Just me offering that service to the New Jersey community. So thank you again for joining. Be safe until the next episode.